from New York, this is WIUR Radio.
We'll turn the music up even more for you guys, for the people at home. Yeah. Welcome to episode 6 of Octagon Antics. Thanks for being here, guys. Huge week of UFC, humongous week. We're going to break it all down. There's so much to talk about. David Onama versus Steve Garcia.
One of the best cards of the year.
Oh my goodness, guys. I'm so hyped up. This is a big fight feel.
Can't be any more excited, to be honest.
Really talking.
We're fresh off of the
disaster class.
Disaster. Third to last pay-per-view of the year, 321.
Well, let's open with this. Firstly, me and you played a little basketball game on, what was it, Thursday?
Yeah.
Last week, and very impulsively at the end of that, we were like, or Joe came up to me and was like, I got $20 for this weekend. What are we thinking?
We threw some money down on it.
Threw some money down. We conjured up a parlay very quickly, which honestly, I like that method. I feel like the more time I have to think about it, the more I'm going to overthink it and like do the wrong thing. I actually liked our we spoiler alert, we didn't win, but I liked our picks kind of. What was
hindsight, we picked
Jose Miguel Delgado by finish.
It was Delgado by finish. You picked Rakic on points. We picked Umar on points, and we picked what else?
Virna.
Jandiroba. So we won 1 for 4. That was not good.
1 for 4, but we were okay. We were so close with the Delgado fight.
We were. It was looking good early. We'll get there.
We'll get there.
We gotta run through this in order.
We gotta run through this. But let's talk about the main event firstly. I wrote the narrative coming into this fight was that Cyril Gane was like gonna be outclassed, and it's only a matter of when, because he has this elusive footwork, but it takes one from Tom Aspinall.
Exactly.
But I mean, leaving this fight, you have to give some props to Cyril Gane. His elusivity, it was real. Tom was having a hard time finding the range. He did get kind of bloodied up coming into jabbing range and boxing range. The Cyril Gane jab looked really good, but he was landing a lot of like diverse strikes. I think he landed 2 really solid head kicks, and head kicks from a heavyweight. That's something else entirely. And he looked really agile in there. But the narrative is going out of that fight that Cyril Gane was winning, and that's something I can't argue with. As much of a Tom Aspinall fan as I am, like the visuals were on Cyril Gane's side, the numbers were on Cyril Gane's side, and I'd imagine if that went to the end of the round and they stopped it afterwards, it would have been scored for Cyril Gane. But I thought the fight was a lot closer than people let on. What did you think?
I thought so too. Like it's inarguable that Cyril Gane was winning the fight, and he was fighting a beautiful first round. 2 things can be true at once. Cyril Gane was winning and he was fighting a great round, but at the same time, the narrative that I don't like is around the eye poke, because obviously, if you don't know by now, there was a double eye poke. Tom Aspinall said he couldn't see. The fight had to be stopped. It was ruled a no contest. But there was this narrative coming out of it that, Tom Aspinall finally got tested and was scared and he didn't want to fight, so he took the easy way out. That's complete BS. I don't know what you think, but I think that's complete BS.
I 100% agree. Like this is a title fight. These guys, like, if you come in compromising anybody to a title fight, you're probably going to lose. These are the highest level guys, and this is heavyweight. It takes one. I mean, maybe not from Cyril Gane. It takes a million, and then some fouls in there. But like that very much can change a fight. And you look at Daniel Cormier's fight with Stipe Miocic. I think it was the third one. We got that really bad eye poke. Had to fight through it because it was his last fight in the Apex, sadly. And it just couldn't do much with it.
I think people saying that have never been poked in the eye or have never fought, especially. I mean, I've never fought. I've been poked in the eye. And it even bothers you when you if you're just out somewhere and you say, something got in my eye, and it bothers you. Can you imagine a big, 6'5", 260-pound man not only double poking you in both eyes, but then pushing into
it? What was it, the right eye that he got the finger in?
I think the right eye was the one that was more damaged.
I think because it was he scraped the one on the left and then dug in to the one on the right. And it's a bad foul. And Cyril Gane has this history of fouling a little bit. So
he does.
People will also look at this in a certain light that Cyril Gane is a dirty fighter. And I will argue that as the fight was going later into the round, Tom Aspinall was sort of finding his groove a little bit. Like he was still getting caught a little bit, and Cyril Gahn had a really good activity with that front foot, with those like teeps and those oblique kicks, which are say what you will, it's a less effective strike than a jab, but it's a strike nonetheless. But like I think Tom Aspinall was coming back into it, and people want to say that the eye poke was intentional because he has a history of fouling. I don't want to go that far. I just think it's a shame that that fight ended the way it did, because I think if it would have played on to that second, third round, Tom would have found a finish.
I think so too. But I also agree. Yeah, it wasn't intentional. If you watch the fight, there's been so many instances where guys, especially in those gloves, when they're trying to like gauge their range, they open their hand. I don't think he was poking his eye intentionally. That would be foolish, especially when you're in your third title fight and you haven't won before. This could be your last shot at a title. Although Cyril Gahn has like that unlimited title shot glitch.
Yeah.
But it could be your last shot at a title realistically if you go 3 times and don't win. So if you're just blatantly poking somebody in the eye to try and get the advantage, it would be stupid.
And Cyril Gahn is 1 foot in, 1 foot out. He's making action movies, man. Like that is not a champion in my book. I'm sorry, because I bet you if he would have lost that and maybe got like sparked and knocked out, he's like, I'm gonna retire, be an actor. But now that he's like, he has this narrative going back to like, oh, he's very competitive with Tom Aspinall. He's in it again, and there's a lot of hype behind his name, and that reflects. I'm not sure what they are off the top of my head, but I think DraftKings released odds, like projected odds for the rematch, and Tom was like a minus, like I think it was like a 150 or like 180 something.
It was
like
in that range, yeah.
Which I think that's good money.
I'm
taking
money.
that.
It is good money. He's very good.
When we were talking about making this bet after we played basketball, we were like, do we even bother with Tom Aspinall? Like minus 450 is so egregious that like, what does that add to a parlay? But yeah, I think that's good money going into that rematch. I think Tom might do it quicker this time now. I think the fact that because Cyril Gahn's offense was so like rudimentary and one-dimensional. It was that jab that got him, and it was that little teep kick that he was having trouble with, kind of closing that range. Tom can prepare for that, and now that he's seen it, he's gonna be more like elusive and probably gonna be able to make adjustments to that jab. Maybe not so much that like front teep kick. That's a kind of a hard, especially with the big guys. It's hard to like be super agile and get your leg out of there. You just kind of want to like close that distance, but. I mean, I am intrigued. The fact that Cyril Gahn did what he did.
I'm intrigued now because, Gahn fought, like we said, Gahn was fighting like the exact fight he had to fight to win that fight. Like I just said, fight 5 times in that one sentence. But still, he was fighting perfectly. Like that.
The jab and move.
If you had to draw up a game plan to try and beat Tom Aspinall as Cyril Gahn, what he was fighting was the exact type of fight you would have to do to beat him.
I will say something I was very impressed by. I spoke about his high kicks earlier. Cyril Gahn switched into orthodox at one point, I think. I think he's mainly okay, he might have switched to southpaw. He likes to switch stances, but he will mostly fight out of orthodox. And Tom Aspinall blasted a leg kick right away, and he never switched back. I think that's something of note. I think that's going to be big in the next fight. I feel like the Tom Aspinall leg kicks might set up something in the future, because if you're just going to counter with jabs and jabs going in, I'm throwing that leg kick. If all I see coming back is a jab and nothing looping, I'm throwing it. I'm spamming that leg kick. I will go my shin to his shin for his jab to my face any day of the week if I'm Tom Aspinall. But I am excited, and hopefully they make it quick. Apparently, I saw Tom Aspinall's dad say that he still can't really see. So
I saw that too.
But the doctors, they came out and also said the doctors had this no real damage. So hopefully we can get this rebooked soon, but it's heavyweight, so we'll take our time. I'd imagine maybe it's like, I think they're doing Ilya with the first Paramount card. Maybe it's like the second or third. I'd imagine they have Ilya and Hamzat lined up for those.
Probably, I would say so. Yeah, those feel like the fights.
We'll see. I mean, Hamzat's super unpredictable with matchmaking, but I am excited to see. I want to see how they announce it too. I wonder if it's going to be like one big thing all at once, just because it's this new Paramount deal, or if it's going to be like the same kind of month by month announcing.
So if you were booking, you'd put it in like March?
March or February would be great.
It would be. Some people want it in December. Like they want it to be thrown onto that Merab and Pantoja card as like a mega card.
I don't know.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, I just think heavyweights, like, we'll get to Ante Delija later, The heavyweights don't really make that turnaround like that.
No.
I think like at light heavyweight maybe, but it's weird because you're not really cutting weight at heavyweight. It's just a training camp is very intensive for them, and you're not just gonna run it back. You need a little bit of time to heal the body, rehab, get all any like work done, any stuff that happened in the camp. Because these guys get injured a lot, especially the big guys. But we'll see. I'd like to see it for February or March, and I think that's realistic.
That'd be good.
But let's talk about the other title fight on that card. I actually like this fight. Dean Thomas was talking a lot of crap about these two, saying this is the most insignificant title fight in UFC history. But John Jones fought Anthony Smith for a title, so I'd make that argument. It was just a scrappy fight, and I predicted that Virna Jandiroba's takedowns would be more effective and she'd be able to use her jiu-jitsu. But Mackenzie Dern and her jiu-jitsu kind of canceled each other out. Like, she wasn't really getting past that guard at all. And then there was a few times where she had, I think, side control, Jandiroba, and just couldn't really get anything going with that. Never really had a mount position. Never really had any, like, dominant ground and pound. Was landing some shots here and there. But Mackenzie Dern staying busy off her back was what really kind of led her to get up as much as she did.
Yeah, Virna landed the takedowns, but I think part of it was also Mackenzie accepted the takedowns because she's comfortable working on the ground, especially as like a two-time jiu-jitsu champion.
Yeah.
Like you're gonna feel very comfortable down there.
I actually saw that she was champion in both gi and no gi.
Oh, really?
That's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So she's like a mega jiu-jitsu head, and it's, you know, she's a popular name. And well, as much as I didn't really predict this to happen, her being the champion here, it's probably the most like profitable one for the UFC.
The UFC is happy about this.
I think the UFC is happy.
But I agree with you. I like the fight. I thought it was a good fight. They went back and forth. They were Mackenzie Dern especially. She was throwing.
Yeah,
like, they were landing too.
I remember watching Mackenzie Dern like have the most sloppiest stand up ever, and what I saw from her the other night was actually like very impressive. Jason Perillo did a hell of a job in the corner too. I don't know if you were tuned in between rounds, but he kept it real. I love him as a coach. It just sucks that kind of Cheeto is like his beacon right now, and it's like, God, you just can't work with that guy.
My favorite part about the corner advice was going into round 5, and he's like, "We have no idea who's winning this fight. Just go win the round. 5 minutes."
Love that. I love.
That's
Jason
what a coach
Perillo.
has to do. You don't just tell them, "Oh, you're feeling comfortable. You're winning. Just survive the round. You're going to win the fight." If I'm a coach, even if I know my fighter is winning the fight, I would tell them like, fight's pretty even right now. Go out there and win this round. Like you have to stay on the gas, because if you fight to not lose, you're going to lose. So I actually like the corner advice.
And yeah, overall great fight. And maybe I'm a little more excited about that division now.
Yeah.
Maybe Whaley loses and comes down. Maybe Whaley loses and stays up. Maybe Whaley wins. I think we'll talk about that. That's this month actually.
Yeah.
Oh, it's not November. I lied.
Pretty much
next
November.
month. We're almost there.
Yeah, less than
We're at Halloween weekend right now. Like we're pretty much there.
Yeah, we're getting there.
But let's talk about the featured bout. Excuse me. Mario Bautista versus Umar Nurmagomedov. Another very good fight.
Was a very good fight.
The scrambles were entertaining, unlike some of our heavyweight folks at the bottom of the card.
Yeah.
RIP the Hamdi Abdullah Wahab title run.
Well, yeah, that was a surprising one yesterday. I actually didn't expect that, but
I thought that was a really good fight, and Mario Bautista impressed me. I wouldn't say he did as good in the scrambles as Corey Sandhagen, but he did very, very good and did not accept bottom position a whole lot. Umar's wrestling is very, very good. Like he's not very big at bantamweight, so I'm like, and you see him get like kind of out-muscled by Merab, but it's Merab, and that this performance very much told me that the way he was able to hold down Mario Bautista, who comes from a wrestling background, showed me like kind of the physicality of Umar, and that's a very good win from Umar. Mario Bautista very clearly brought it, and I'd love to see Mario Bautista versus Amian Zahabi.
I think that's a good fight.
I think that's a way to get him back in on like a win in the win streak or in the win column, and
he beats Zahabi.
Yeah, I think Zahabi's he's 8 in the rankings.
Yeah,
whereas I think Zahabi might be 9 currently or 10 or something.
He probably jumped to 9 or 8. Yeah, I don't think he's 10. He's not 10. He's inside the top 10, but I don't know exactly the rank. Actually, I should have it.
Come on, Cheeto. How do you let that guy beat
He
you?
is 7, actually.
Wow.
He's 7. He's
Okay.
ranked above Mario Bautista.
Him sliding all the way up to 7 tells me they maybe want to like face him higher in the rankings to
Yeah.
like make that fight look more legitimate. But we'll see what they do with the matchmaking there.
Yeah, because it was a clear win for Umar, but Mario Bautista definitely like showed that he is that
so
high
you
level.
you can't fight him down super
No.
down in the rankings.
He knocked down Umar too.
Big
Landed a nice
knockdown.
knee.
It was a very nice. It was like a kick / knee. Like it was like Umar has that very. He even addressed it himself in the post fight conference. Is that very bad tendency of dipping his head. So he basically turned that kick into a knee to his dome, and he made a very good recovery. I saw someone tweet like, "I've never seen someone just refuse to go unconscious," and like the way he got up and started circling immediately. I was like, "Oh wow!" It's like he almost didn't even get knocked down. Like he's
it was a flash.
It really was, but that was a concussive strike.
It was. It was a it was a perfect.
Lesser fighters get knocked out from that or like seriously hurt. So props to Umar for surviving.
And Umar
that.
won the round. He won the round after it.
Debatably, because like we said on the pod last week, judging in Abu Dhabi is very much
going
to Umar.
I'm going by the cards, and the card said he won the round. So
let's talk about Volkov versus Almeida.
What to talk about?
Yeah, what to talk about. I actually didn't even write anything for this fight. I'm now realizing this.
There's not much to write. It was a lot of control time from Almeida, not much damage. Volkov actually attempted to strike a little bit.
Yeah, and respect to Volkov. I'm a big Volkov fan. That was an underdog we got right. I think we both picked Volkov.
We might have, yeah. I don't know.
But, that's not really the way you want to get that right.
No.
Arguably, like if this were to be judged, if this fight were to be judged like 10 years ago or 8 years ago when the wrestlers were really like viewed on control time, this would be a very obvious like 30-27. But Almeida just really refused to do anything on top position. Like just didn't want to like unlock his hands. Like I would not be surprised if they release him. Like
I'd be surprised if they release him, but they are moving weird in the heavyweight division
because they released Jairzinho Rosenstruck, and his fight was a lot more entertaining than that.
Yeah,
and I'm sure because he's in the top of the division and he's been fighting for a while, so he's probably had his contract renewed a couple different times. I'm sure he's getting paid well. I'm sure that's money they do not want to be shelling out to the heavyweight division.
Yeah, but this fight, it was so underwhelming, and I think there was always a chance it went like this, but. Like I have right here, 7 takedowns for Almeida in the 3 rounds against Volkov having none. Do you have the control stats? I don't have them. The control time.
Do not.
It was like 11 minutes. I think he had in 15. He had 11 minutes of control time. The strike differential, Jailton Almeida landed 27 strikes.
A little under 10 minutes. Or 11 minutes.
Yeah, almost 11 minutes of control time, landed 27 strikes in 3 rounds.
How is that possible?
And Volkov, who was pretty much fighting, he was fighting a lot off his back. He had 123.
Yeah, you look at these stats and you're like, wait, so we're looking at almost 14 minutes of control time. And the guy with 11 minutes of them has not even a fourth or a fifth of the strikes that the guy with 2 minutes of control time had. Like, this is a bizarre fight, firstly. And I don't think Jailton Almeida has a single fan at this moment. I think the Brazilians don't mess with that guy. Like he's like the antithesis of what like Brazilians come in there and scrap and go. Like, even if those guys who are like wrestling or jiu-jitsu heavy will like put pressure on their opponents. Nothing from Almeida. I will say the wrestling was dominant, and
the wrestling was dominant. It usually is, but there's a difference. Like, there's the general fan who doesn't like wrestling, which I like wrestling and I like grappling. Like, it's very entertaining sometimes. But then there's Jailton Almeida wrestling, where he just gets control time and he's never really trying to advance the fight. Doesn't go for any strikes. He's not really threatening submissions this whole fight. Like, he's just laying on him. He did the same thing to Derek Lewis.
Yeah, poor Derek Lewis.
I know.
He's a member of the Jiu-Jitsu Isn't Real Club, Just Stand Up. And I think he got him once, actually, in that fight.
I think so.
Which I'm like, how do you get got by that if you're Jailton Almeida? Who, by the way, I don't know if y'all follow the Instagram. I posted a little I thought it was really stupid, but it was this Brazilian AI guy with like this crazy cauliflower ear and like super roided up acne everywhere. And I was like, this is Bruno Silva after the fight. I think my guy Jailton Almeida is in that same territory. I think he's been doing this for a little bit. His strength and cardio at heavyweight is very surprising, considering when you shoot a takedown, you're moving 500 pounds, you and your opponent. So I'm surprised he has the output that he does, especially in some of these 5-round fights that he has that go to decision. But I'm less about him. We're moving on.
Yeah, he had 9 total significant strikes that fight, by the way.
How is that possible?
I
Like, you
don't
shot
know.
9 takedowns.
I don't know. Enough about that. There was not much to talk about there. I think we made it longer than it had to be.
This was where the parlay was too far gone.
Yeah.
Rakic looked really good to start. He had those kicks up the middle, the high kicks. Like tactically was moving the right way, was like circling very well. But then decided to just crash all the distance at one time and gets caught. And from a guy like Mirzakhanov, when you're running like head first into a punch, it takes one.
It was a power jab.
It was a power jab too that he lunged off his back foot into. I'm a big fan of Rakic, but that was a very like low IQ moment.
Yeah,
right
it wasn't
there.
great. Mirzakhanov landed 4 strikes that whole fight. It says on the UFC website he landed 4 punches.
People are talking about Rakic going up to heavyweight just so he can get that lighter man skill. What do you think is next for him coming off? I think this is 4 losses in a row, one being that injury against Jan Blachowicz in a fight that people think he was winning. But besides the fact, we're looking at 4 losses in a row right now.
Yeah, he's in a tough spot. Like you said, I mean, we've said on this podcast before, if you go up to, you want to get ranked in the UFC, you go up to heavyweight. But let's see.
I'd love to see that matchmaking too. Like, where would they kind of put him? Because he's already ranked at light heavyweight and has like knockouts and has moments. So maybe they just throw him against someone who's ranked at heavyweight.
Yeah, you'd have to imagine he's either fighting, if he stays at light heavyweight, he's either fighting out of the rankings or he's definitely fighting down in the rankings. But who to fight? Like, if you look at the bottom of the light heavyweight rankings right now, you have Mignon at 15, Menafield at 14, Krylov at 13, Johnny Walker's at maybe Johnny Walker.
That'd be a hilarious fight.
Maybe Johnny Walker at this point. Guskov is booked.
Yeah, Johnny Walker's coming off a big win. Yang Mingyang, no one wanted to sign to fight. Yo, throw Johnny in the title shot, man. We need someone for Alex right now.
Is Guskov booked? He is, right?
I think so.
He is. He's fighting Blachowicz.
Oh, that was one of those
323.
Oh, that was a Qatar fight.
No.
That's a 323 stacked, man.
Yeah, it's looking really good.
But yeah, Mirzakhanov, big win. Who do you matchmake him with?
Not Jamal Hill. If you're looking, obviously he's fighting up now. That's obvious.
I mean, maybe. Okay, arguably he was given a very good opportunity considering his last win was Brenderson Ribeiro. Maybe he fights like somewhere mid in the rankings. I think maybe they give him like maybe a Jamal Hill.
No, I don't know what Jamal Hill does right now, but yeah,
I know he did just get surgery recently, so he's out for a while.
Yeah, you have Pereira's champ. Your number 1 is Yuri Prohaska, Magomedov Ankalaev. Ulberg is probably going to fight for the title, I'd imagine. Khalil, what's Khalil doing now? When would they book that? They could do that.
They could do that.
Khalil
and those are
versus
2 short
Mirzakhanov.
guys. Yeah, that'd be a fun one.
I think it would be. I think it's great matchmaking.
I think that's great. I could see. Khalil gets too wide with his shots sometimes. I could see him getting chinned in that fight.
He does. He has
Like, his
been chinned.
hooks-
He got chinned against Yuri, but
Got chinned against Alex.
he did. Yeah, and Mirzakhanov clearly has like power.
How? Like if you're okay, Rakic ate a lot of power shots from Yuri before going down. Mirzakhanov, it took 1 from him to
And
get
it was a
Rakic
jab.
down, and it was a jab. So arguably, if he lands clean, he might have some of the scariest power in the division aside from Pereira.
If he gets all the way up to the title shot to face Pereira, I'd be very intrigued.
That'd be. I think Pereira's out of the division by then. I think he has his sights set higher.
He's looking for heavyweight.
Yeah.
He wants John Jones. I think he reiterated it after the fight on Saturday or something. It was either him or Jones. I think it was him, actually. He posted a video of him watching the fight, and he said, like, make heavyweight great again, and then alluded to
him fighting John Jones
versus John Jones at the White House.
I don't buy anything White House related. I don't even think it's gonna happen.
You don't think so?
I think y'all are getting duped by the projections. It's more of like I'll believe it when I see it thing. Like the second that the production starts that night and the UFC pay-per-view like airs, I'm like, oh okay, like we'll be here. But like anything else,
yeah,
I can expect it to be.
I'm kind of in the same boat, but also like the prospect of having that like event actually happen just gets me like excited. I'm like, oh yeah, they're gonna load that card.
Also, it'd be a Paramount card, so
it
like
would be.
you think Paramount would be fine with that? I mean, I think Paramount knows that the local, like U.S. audience for UFC, not to get like political, is like kind of red pilled.
Yeah.
And
Well, you're right. Yeah.
knowing that, I think Paramount would, because they have South Park currently.
Yeah.
So I don't think they. I think they have. I don't think they care.
They'll run it. If
Yeah.
it makes them money, they'll run it.
Yeah, they're here
That's
for the
how
pockets.
that's how they operate.
But let's move on. We're getting. See, you got to tune into MMA politics after this. That's our next podcast where we just
Yeah.
talk politics only.
Pretty much.
Nazareth Hawkpress versus Quinlan Salkiel.
We have to talk about.
Got to talk about that. We talked about how impressive Quillen's last couple fights were. The finish over Jubilee and very dominantly out wrestling a very good wrestler versus Hawkpress's split decisions.
Mhm.
Like that makes me uncertain of you as a prospect. And not to say like he didn't look good in this fight, but you getting got like that puts your stock down as a prospect. Quinlan Salkield said it again. Quillen Salkield, very, very impressive. Very impressive.
It doesn't get more impressive on a card where there was a lot of lows. This was like the highest of high.
10 days notice too.
It was
Good
very
for him,
impressive,
man.
Literally a perfect head kick. I think he hurt his foot. When
Yeah,
he
I think he
landed
broke
it,
his
and he's
foot
like,
or leg.
he's like, I'll do that trade off every time. It was great.
And my God, like like you heard it through like the commentary, and then when they played it without the audio,
My favorite part of that was John Anik on commentary. Did you hear him after?
he said he didn't see it.
Yeah, he's like, I didn't even see. I wasn't looking.
But he said he wants. Oh no, he didn't. I'm thinking of someone else. I was like, he said he wants to fight again this year on a broken leg.
No, he won't be.
I would like if
Get him in there early next year.
I want to see him in. I'd like to see him get some momentum off that. But if he has to take time off, get right.
Yeah.
Moving on.
That was a great fight.
That was a great fight. Ikram Aleskrov versus Jun-Young Park. 30-27s across the board. I thought maybe one of those rounds.
Yeah, I think I wrote you after the second round that I maybe thought that Park won it, but I don't know.
Park. I like Park, and he's a tough out. He was heavy on that pressure.
He was pushing the pace.
Yeah, I love that from him, and he was making it tricky for him. That's a tough out. Ikram Aleskarov is very high level, and I think this raises Jun-Young Park's stock a little bit. Maybe he is in a position because he's coming off before the loss, coming off 2 wins before that. So maybe he's like at that like right before the rankings part of the 185 because Aleskarov is probably fighting into the rankings pretty soon.
Yeah,
considering when he fought Whitaker, I think he was booked to fight into the rankings, and then that switched up.
He was. I think you're right. Let's find out.
I got the
Let's do some investigative
Tapology
journalism.
Ikram. Let's see. He was scheduled to fight Antonio Tricoli, so I kind of lied.
Yeah.
He was also scheduled to fight Andre Muniz, and Anthony Hernandez.
Yeah, he was.
Who was ranked at the time. So I probably would have lost that. But that's to show what the UFC thought about him at the time and his matchmaking. So I'd imagine coming off that fight off Whitaker, getting 2 quick wins at home, he's probably going to fight somewhere in the rankings now, like kind of like Joe Pyfer versus a Booster Magomedov, like that, like 15 versus like 16 in the rankings, kind of.
Yeah, I would say so.
But I'm still excited about Ikram. I think he's still a prospect, but his stand-up really hasn't looked the same since the Whitaker fight.
I think he's probably more timid and scared because he's been colded twice now. It was early on by Hamzat early on, and then Whitaker. So it makes sense that you'd be a little more timid.
Whitaker still got it, guys.
Whitaker does still have it. He fought RDR, regardless of what happened with RDR recently. RDR is a good fighter, so that's what happens sometimes. But
and then next, our fight of the night: Ludovic Klein versus Mateusz Rambecki.
Great fight.
I don't want to talk about that ankle injury. That looked horrid.
Yeah.
Watch it. As a basketball player, I'm like, anything ankle related, get me out of here.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even want to think. I don't want to manifest that in my head.
No.
But the Klein boxing looked very, very, very sharp. Mateusz Rambecki's offense on the feet maybe was a little bit repetitive, and he was on that big overhand, and he was crashing the distance a lot. But Klein's boxing, like we said, very, very sharp going into that. His kicks looked good too. I think there was an open stance, so he was getting a couple good body kicks in. But it's kind of a shame. The scorecards in that fight were crazy, by the way. I don't know if you saw.
Wasn't it a split or was it a majority?
It was a majority. Someone
Yeah.
called it a draw. And then another card was a 10-9 first round, 10-8 second round, 10-8 third round for what's his name? Mateusz Rembetsky. I didn't think any round was a 10-8, but I just thought that was funny to mention. But a lot of offense, a lot of output in this fight. Very, very fun fight. And Rembetsky always brings it. His fight with Chris Duncan was a banger. His fight with Bruno Diego Ferreira. I think that's his name. Diego Ferreira was also a banger, and they should low-key give him a little bit of time because that man eats.
You didn't mention his fight against Oralbai.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When he's in there, you know what you get. It's going to be a good fight.
Was that fight of the year last year?
No.
The Oralbai fight?
No, they gave it to, didn't they just give it to Gaethje and Holloway?
Oh, yeah, you kind of have to.
Yeah, although that fight wasn't, we don't have to get into that, but that fight
if it was nominated for fight of the year, it's a good fight regardless. Yeah. But moving on, our boy Walter Walker.
Walter Walker, 4 in a row.
Big fan of Walter Walker on the pod.
Did it.
He did it, and he wore the severed ankle chain at weigh-ins. I love him. I want to see him go for 5, and he probably would have against Hamdi, but
Hamdi got cut.
Hamdi got canned.
Cut off a win reasonably so. If they're doing cuts like that, he could have easily finished Barnett several times. Didn't do it, so it was reasonable to cut him. But then again, the talent
about that fight.
But then again, the talent pool at heavyweight is so slim that like.
I think they're just cost cutting. They're like, we're not putting any money in this division.
Yeah, we're like, we got our guy, we got our few guys. We'll just run them out there.
But Louis Sutherland is not bad.
No.
He's not like a can. Like he's not like a Mo Usman or like a Justin Taffa. I don't know which Taffa he fought. I think it was Justin Taffa.
That was his UFC
it was
debut.
Junior Taffa.
He was booked to fight, but he didn't fight. That was his UFC debut.
Who?
Sutherland.
Oh, no. I'm saying Walter Walker.
Oh, Walter Walker. Yeah. I thought you were talking about Sutherland because he was booked to fight.
Yeah, he was booked to fight. Yeah, it was Junior Taffa. Yeah. And then Walter Walker, that was the first heel hook on the streak, Walter Walker. But like Louis Sutherland, I mean, he rolled in the right direction, but as Walter Walker said in the post fight, he likes it when they roll. But I mean, he possessed some know-how, some like situational know-how, better than some heavyweights. So I think he'll be all right. I think he'll be like a mid-level heavyweight. And
yeah, he tried, but it's
the fact that he's a Dana White Contender Series guy makes it more likely to me that they'd probably keep him around too.
Yeah, they'll keep him around.
Because I feel like a lot of the heavyweights they're releasing are coming from like organizations in the East, like I guess the PFL. A lot of them are coming from the Lehas from the PFL. But moving on. Oh, actually, I want to ask a question. Like if he were to start fighting up in the rankings, like right now, where do we think the heel hook streak ends? Like Tybura, Spivak, Blades?
I don't know.
How high up do we think it can get?
I don't know if it'll ever end at this point because it happens so fast every time.
It really, and it's shocking. Like every time it does, and he gets a crazy pop, which
he does.
I love.
Everyone knows about it by now, and his mic work after the fight was tremendous. Great. It was awesome.
I speak English too.
Yeah.
I love him, and he's funny on Instagram too. It's my guy.
Yeah. The only sucky part is that he did say he got hurt.
Yeah, I think I saw him say he broke his leg.
Yeah, Sutherland on a leg kick caught him in like 30 seconds, and
wow,
his leg is fractured.
I don't want to say frail, but like
no, but his leg is fractured. It was a thick one. It was a good kick.
That's what I'm saying. Louis Sutherland is like a dense like meatball of muscle, bro. He's
a big dude.
Big dude.
Looking at the heavyweight rankings, I'm going to go down the list from top 15 because you'd imagine he's fighting into the rankings at this point. He's at 14 right now. Teixeira's at 15, who got beat by Lewis, so he's not going to fight him.
I could see him getting that.
Oh no,
heel hook there.
He could get that, but if I don't know if he's going to fight him because he's already ranked above him. But
actually,
13 is Mick Parkin.
Real quick, when Mo Usman fell out of their fight at Rio, I know that number 15, what was his name?
Tyson
Teixeira was offered to step in, but chose not to. To be fair, he was coming off that Derek Lewis knockout, so I don't blame him. But there is a little bit of history there. So, hey, maybe.
And then looking up the rankings, sense. Mick Parkin is 13. Tai Tuivasa, who hasn't been around in years, is at 12. Shamil Gatsiv Godzilla is at 11.
Man, I'm trying to, unstoppable object versus immovable force.
Yeah.
The Shamil the Blob Gaziev versus the
Yeah.
heel hook monster. Oh, that'd be a good one, man.
Let's do it.
That's
the meme fight.
That is the meme fight. Hey, Gaziev is that volleyball background. He can just kind of like volleyball spike his way at it, and he like ankle pick, and he
but you
like
eventually get to Tabora at 10. So.
I think he can get Tabora. Like Tabora has like a rudimentary like level knowledge of jiu-jitsu, which is too much for most heavyweights.
Yeah.
I think like Walter Walker is too quick down there, like too quick. And
yeah, he got on it quick.
Every time it's
Sutherland.
quick. The Kennedy and Nzechukwu one was really impressive to me. Because it was like an awkward position to go for that hook, and he got it really, really nice. Tell me, I think he could fluke a heel hook over Curtis Blades.
He could.
Curtis Blades is like just a wrestler, and his boxing isn't even that good. I could see him just like they get a little exchange on the feet, transitions into a takedown, drops for the leg, gets it like that, like the Kennedy and Nzechukwu one.
Because you have to just imagine how many heavyweights are going to be able to defend that.
I don't think
not many.
I don't think there's many. I think Tom Aspinall will probably be able to defend it. Maybe Cyril Gahn, because Cyril Gahn has a win by heel hook, so maybe he's practiced that position.
I don't know.
Almeida. He's a jiu-jitsu guy. So
probably
maybe,
Almeida.
Maybe.
Yeah, but
if he's on the roster, come whenever
they'll be fine. He's gonna get another fight. If he puts that up again in his next fight, he'll probably get cut. But we'll
hope. And then lastly, for our first leg that got crushed. Nathaniel Wood versus Jose Delgado.
Unjustly, I thought Delgado won.
I thought Delgado won too. We had it by knockout.
It was cooked anyways.
And he was close to it. The first round was crazy.
Year of the spinning elbow again.
Was it an elbow or a back fist?
It was an elbow.
Wow. I thought it was a back fist live. Yeah. But that was a crazy round. And they both got knocked down.
They did, yeah.
Nathaniel Wood got hurt worse. And I'd imagine they scored that round for Delgado. But I was surprised by the judging. I really thought Delgado won 3 rounds. I think I texted you like thinking, I remember because we were talking about the parlay and I was like, damn, didn't get the knockout, but we got the win.
Yeah.
Clearly not.
A lot of people thought closer to 30-27 Delgado than 29-28 Wood.
Yeah, I thought he won 3 rounds.
But granted, even if you think it was a robbery, Wood got the win. So who do you think he should fight next? If you had to put at
145,
they think he should fight
in the rankings.
That's what a lot of people think. They think that at this point he should.
That's a good win, to be fair. That's a really good win. But he didn't win it, man.
Like Giga Chikadze.
That's good, Matt. Because is he in the rankings right now?
15.
Really? He just fought David Onama. I thought he was out of that after that.
No, he's still in, and then Ige's at 14. Dan Ige.
Where's David Onama? How did Dan Ige
Onama's at 13,
Onama.
Garcia's at 12.
Wow. They're doing Ige wrong. That's crazy. He should be like 10.
Yeah.
But
John Silva's at 10 right now.
Nathaniel Wood, he did look good in this fight. And one of my things that I was scared about, like the leg kicks. I know he has these really, really heavy leg kicks. Weren't really super present in that fight. It's more just speaks to Jose Miguel Delgado's defense and being able to navigate that.
Mm-hmm.
He did eat a couple early, but he wasn't really effectively throwing that strike that much. But that concludes 321. It's a damn shame how that ended because
I know.
Leading up to it wasn't a whole lot of finishes, but there were a lot of pretty good fights.
We said last week, big fight feel, and it just didn't live up. So that's what happens. Speaking of big fights, we'll get there soon, but we have to run an ad first.
Oh, which one?
So we'll be right back.
We're pushing a button.
Yeah, either one.
Untouchable, unstoppable.
This is WIUR Sports Radio.
Hi, I'm Robbie Basil, president of WIUR Radio, and I hope you're enjoying today's show. Have you ever wanted to call the biggest games, the biggest moments for the biggest names for Iona Athletics? Then the newly founded WIUR Sports Radio is the place to be. Launched in January of 2025, our goal is to try and get broadcasters here at Iona an opportunity to learn, succeed, and get a chance to be on air. From getting to call the big moments at the hack,
Dinkins trying to go to the rack. Denied. Yafet Mundi.
To seeing the crack of the bat at City Park.
The line drive into left field, around third, and it kicks away. The Gales are going to win it in 10.
We make those moments happen on our brand new WIUR Sports Radio platform on Mixer. If you're interested, feel free to reach out to me via email or to the rest of my e-board to join the club. We are WIUR Sports Radio, the new home of Iona Athletics. Now, back to the show on WIUR, Iona University Radio.
Right?
Jeez.
Yeah.
What y'all think about the new? I click a button now. I don't have to read off a piece of paper.
Yeah, it's lovely.
I'm happy about that. That works for the
Lovely.
pod.
Yeah, it does.
But let's move on. UFC Fight Night. Steve Garcia versus David Onama. We don't really have a future matchmaking segment for this episode. Not a whole lot
We don't.
of matchmaking. I will say a couple of fights got like crisscrossed. Miles Johns, who was supposed to fight on this card, will now fight next week. And he will fight Daniel Marcos, who was supposed to fight not Diego Lima. Who's the fight? The guy Peyton Talbot just fought.
Felipe Lima.
Yeah, and so Miles John was first supposed to fight Gafurov, and both him and Lima are out. So now we have this kind of mismatched matchmaking next week. And Daniel Marcos is pretty close to the rankings. So that's a pretty big fight at I don't know if it's 35 or 45 because he's a big catchweight guy. So we'll see about that. That'll be next week, but very much kind of scrambling to get some of these fights put together.
Mhm.
But our headliner, Steve Garcia versus David Onama, pretty close in odds. Minus 115 for Steve Garcia, minus 105 for David Onama. I'm a fan of Steve Garcia. His power is real, and
Rode
was
a big
finding-
knockout streak until his last fight.
yeah, and he was finding the chin of Calvin Kattar. So, and Calvin Kattar, say what you want about the state of Calvin Kattar in Big 25, but he's a good boxer at the very least. And Garcia's boxing against him was very, very sound. We got to make a pick. I forgot.
We do have to make a pick. We'll pick the main
get into
event.
it.
We can
But
pick the co-main too. I think we'll both be on the same side there. But
I don't know about this fight, man. I like both guys are prone to getting hurt in the beginning of their fights. And then coming back and making it a war. David Onama has some losses. He's lost to actually got to pull this up real quick. But one of his losses was against Nate Landwehr.
Yeah.
Where you just kind of he kind of lost the game plan and fell into Nate Landwehr's like crazy brawl fight. And he also lost to Mason Jones, who is very good. So although he has those losses, his wins are his best wins are Giga Chikadze and Roberto Romero, who are not elite wins. But I think Steve Garcia has better wins. I think Steve Garcia's probably fought better comp. Yeah, he beat Kyle Nelson.
Yeah.
Kyle Nelson's a tricky customer.
He just won.
Miguel Acosta, the guy with the dog face and the dyed hair every time. He always has some crazy fight week antics. But he's a tough out too. He has good wins on his record. Chase Hooper, Chepe Mariscal. These are all very solid, tough outs. And even in the fights that he lost, I've seen so much improvement since then that I'm not even really concerned about that. But I will say Onama very much snuck his way into the rankings. I understand Giga Chikadze was ranked, but David Onama being a ranked fighter in Big 25 was not on my thought list.
Yeah, no.
I guess let's make some predictions.
I like the matchmaking here. Like we said, it shouldn't be a main event. Probably it should be maybe a featured fight on a fight night Apex card, but it is a very good looking fight on paper.
Yeah,
it should be a great fight.
Weirdly, this would be a better fight if it were 3 rounds and both of these guys could just go crazy.
They could just implement that real high pace.
Yeah,
and just
I'm
throw.
scared that they might it might be a lot of feeling out in this 5-round setting. If they could just go balls to the walls, 3 rounds, 5 minutes, just maxing it out every round. That's a more suited fight to both of these guys.
Mhm.
But now they're main eventing, and I mean both guys have hype.
They do.
David Onama had that like fake Izzy celebration that one time.
Yeah, the bootleg. Yeah,
That was very funny. I'm going with Steve Garcia.
so am I.
He what are his coaches? He has some very high level coaches. He's out of where is it? He fights in Albuquerque. Where's it says the Jackson Wink Academy. Sorry, but Jackson Wink is a very high level academy, and the coaching there is very, very good. Meanwhile, David Onama probably wouldn't have, or his coaches probably don't have all that experience. So this being both of these guys' first time fighting 5 rounds in the UFC, I'd probably lean towards the guy who has better finishes and who has better coaching to kind of stretch out and make the changes to that 5-round kind of setting.
I agree with you. I would pick Steve Garcia.
So we're both going Steve Garcia.
We are, yeah.
We both picked Vina Jandiroba. So now I'm 4 of 6 and you're 3 of 6.
Yeah.
We can't believe we started very hot and we've been wrong 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah.
So let's take that with a grain of salt, guys.
Yeah, I guess. And we're like half wrong, I guess, on the Espinal fight, but
yeah, how wrong can you be?
Yeah.
I didn't count that.
Anyone who bet no contest is like a fortune teller or something.
Someone at the start of the year bet Mackenzie Dern to be champion by the end of the year, and they cashed
seriously?
out like $1,800.
Oh, really?
I saw that on Twitter. I was like, how do you even like think of that?
Yeah. Should have let it ride.
And it's like, it wasn't like they put $1 on it. They put like $125 on it. So I'm like, you got some like insider knowledge, my son. Like,
Maybe.
How do you know that?
Yeah, we're running low on time. We only got a couple minutes left, so we got to breeze through this.
Sheesh, yo.
Yeah, it goes quick. We started late today, so I mean, that makes sense. But you want to run us through?
Let's go Waldo Cortez Acosta versus Ante De Lija, our co-main event this weekend. Odds have Waldo Cortez Acosta as a decent favorite. I think he's minus 145. Wait, I'm all over the place in my notes right now. Yeah, he's looking at 145 to plus 115 at Ante De Lija, so not even really good underdog odds. I like De Lija, and he trains with Tom Aspinall, so that says something.
Had a dominant win in his first UFC showing.
Arguably, I'm sorry, how much better is Waldo Cortez Acosta than Marcin Tybura?
Probably
I think that level's right about the same.
Yeah.
And Cortez Acosta is probably a little more athletic and a little more imposing of a fighter, but I think De Lija can find the chin. I rate his stand-up. And he fought good comp in I think he was a PFL guy. No, he fought in KSW and PFL and Ryzen. So been around the world fighting. Oh, and he actually, speaking of Marcin Tybura, that was the guy he broke his leg against.
Oh, really?
And fun little facts. Ante De Lija is our first repeat fighter on the podcast.
Yeah, Luca realized that yesterday.
We talked about him in, I think he was at UFC Paris, his fight against Tybura.
Yeah.
That was our first podcast episode. So, hey, that speaks to the turnaround.
Yeah, and that's very fast.
Very fast for a heavyweight. So good for him. I appreciate him being active at that weight, especially at the top of the weight class. It's not like he's fighting cans like Walter Walker, but he's up there. And if he wins, he's in a very good spot.
He'd be in a great spot. One fighter I did want to point out was Dante Johnson a little bit down the card. It's his UFC debut. And I'm not sure if you watched the early part of Dana White's Contender Series, but he fought on it in August.
Was it this season?
This season in August. He was one of the first few weeks, and he won within a minute. He won by knockout.
I saw the highlight. I was working,
it was very impressive.
So
to see his name on this card, I'm very intrigued.
But
see what he can
I
do.
love it when like the undefeated guys come in from Dana White Contender Series, just because they got so much confidence, like some swagger too.
Yeah.
I did want to point out an underdog. Jeremiah Wells, although he's lost in the UFC as Temba Karimbo, is not a bad underdog. Like, who was Temba Karimbo beat? Like, he was pretty like kind of shot up in the rankings fighting Luque, who got hurt like very bad on the feet and then choked out in that fight. He does have a win over Ramiz Brahimaj, but his wins besides that are Pete Rodriguez, who was one UFC win, is who's that gimmicky fighter? What's his name? Mike Jackson. And Nico Price, who is Nico Price in 2024.
Yeah.
That's an old man you're fighting. So like the level of fighters he's fighting is, besides Vicente Luque, is not at Jeremiah Wells' level. So I really think this is a 50-50 fight. I think it's whoever comes out on the pressure. And I imagine I'm not saying Tarimbo isn't going to win. I just think that their levels are very much kind of in the same spot, both of these guys. But plus 120 odds on Jeremiah Wells, if you want to take that. Another guy coming in, a couple of prospects, Isaac Dolgarian versus Yadier Del Valle. Yadier's Cuban, an underdog despite being undefeated, big underdog, plus 155. But Dolgarian's such a physical wrestler, and he's like big on these slams and has very good ground and pound that I would say out of the two of these guys, Dolgarian's probably the more physical, domineering prospects.
Yeah, the last for me, because we are pretty much out of time. We do have to get out of here. But the last for me is if you look all the way down the card, it's the second fight on the card, which surprises me. But when we look at Sokyung Ko, we mentioned him
guy.
before because
Yeah.
he beat Oban Elliott, and it was very impressive in his debut. And he's fighting Phil Rowe this weekend. So I'm very intrigued. I'm going to be watching that because I really liked him.
I like Phil Rowe. He has the problem of like not really starting too hot in his fights, and he's always fighting down a round or two, and he knows that. So hopefully he can sort of start to mount some offense. I did want to bring up one other fight before we get out of here. Ketlin Vieira versus Norma Dumont is very impactful on that women's 135 ranking, considering Vieira is coming off that very close fight against what's her name, Kayla Harrison. That was debatably her fight to win. Beat Macy Chiron after that and is now fighting Dumont. You'd imagine after that she's probably getting a title shot. And Dumont, also a big prospect, is the favorite here. I like Dumont. She's a very, very good kickboxing style. She's coming off like a beatdown of Irene Aldana. And I think that was the fight at Noche last year where her face was like literally cut in half.
Maybe
It looked like. But I really like Norma Dumont. I think her kicks are very strong for a girl. And besides that, not a whole lot going on this card.
There's more life to it than I thought.
There's
I'm
some
honest.
decent. There's like sleeper fights for guys like us who are like in tune with the roster.
Yeah.
But for your like average UFC watcher, you're gonna look at some of these guys and be like, "What am I watching, guys?"
Yeah, hopefully
Like,
we come back next week with some exciting stuff.
maybe.
But
And
we'll see.
it tends to be cards like these that have all these crazy finishes.
Yeah.
So hopefully we will come back with something to talk about next
We
week.
will see.
But thanks for tuning in, guys. We'll be back next week. Follow the Instagram,
Octagon Antics.
Octagon Antics. We got to make an actual outro.
We do.
See you guys.
See you later.